For lunch today, I will be having crow. Welcome back to the Green Beans Go channel. It's your host, me. It is the Monday after the Super Bowl. The Chiefs were victorious, and it is a day that I believe should be a national holiday. Let's get rid of Columbus Day. Let's get rid of President's Day. Let's give everybody time off of work the day after the Super Bowl. Who's with me? Now, the purpose of this video is for me to come on here and admit I was wrong and to apologize to Patrick Mahomes. Not that he cares. A little over a month ago, I made this video calling Patrick Mahomes a system QB, and if you want to watch that, you can, but the synopsis was, my claim was that I believed Patrick Mahomes was a product of an Andy Reid system. He was a product of those around him, Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. He was more of a product of those who brought him up than he was an actual superstar. And because of all those things, I called him a system QB. And while I still believe some of those things are true and have played a role in his career, after I watched his overtime drive last night, I had to take a good hard look at myself in the mirror and say, is he a system QB? How many QBs are going to be able to lead their team on a drive of that magnitude on that stage in a way that he did? Because to put it simply, he made all the plays in overtimes. He passed to the open guy when he needed to pass, and he got out of the pocket and scrambled when he needed to run. When the lights were the brightest and the pressure was the heaviest. And I wouldn't even say he had the best game. I think he struggled a lot at the beginning, and a lot of people are going to make comments, well, his receivers were dropping, but yes, I've heard all of that. But in sports, a legacy is measured by wins and losses and not the first or second quarter, and he was able to put together a drive like none other in overtime to win the game. And for that, I will give him credit, and I will revoke my comments right now publicly on record about him being a system QB. However, this is not going to just be a glazing of Patrick Mahomes. I do want to discuss some other things that occurred in the Super Bowl and things that I don't think are being talked about because the media always wants to talk about Patrick, which I get it. He's the quarterback. It makes sense. And while Patrick did lead the team on a game-winning, Super Bowl-winning drive, there were things that had to be set in place before that happened that need to be addressed. The first is this defense. Steve Spagnuolo had these guys ready to play. He had the game plan, and he called all the plays at the right time for the Chiefs. The defense showed up when it mattered and made all the stops when it mattered. And of course, nobody's talking about that. I also think we owe Harrison Butker some major credit in keeping them in the game. He was 4 for 4 on field goals. He hit the longest field goal in a Super Bowl, I believe. And when the offense couldn't convert on third down time and time again, he was there to keep them in it. Am I mad that the MVP trophy went to Mahomes? No. But had the 49ers stopped the Chiefs, Harrison Butker kicks the field goal on fourth down to tie it up. We go into a second overtime, and Harrison Butker hits the game winner, going 6 for 6 potentially in field goals. He should have been hands down the MVP, but we didn't get that chance. The other thing I want to mention is the Dre Greenlaw injury. It is confirmed he has a torn Achilles, and he played for about a quarter and a half. This is a guy in Dre Greenlaw who is second on the team, only behind Fred Warner's in total tackles. He actually played 2 less games than Fred Warner, and had he played a full season like Fred Warner did, he probably would have led the team in tackles. This injury was huge. Dre Greenlaw was on the field for 8 Kansas City possessions. 6 of those 8 resulted in a punt, 1 interception, and 1 field goal. In other words, the Chiefs only scored 1 out of 8 times when Dre Greenlaw was on the field. Then he gets injured, and the Chiefs go on to score in 80% of their remaining drives. Yeah, I get it. The counter argument is, well, it was the beginning of the game. They're just getting warmed up. They were trying to figure out the schemes of the defense. Yeah, I understand all that. I'm not saying this statistic is just stone cold reliable, but I do think it's interesting. And I do think Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce benefited highly from him being out of the game. But for goodness sakes, chill. I'm not trying to take anything away from them. I also think the Chiefs got lucky with the fact that the 49ers took the ball in overtime. Because of the new playoff rules, if a team scores a touchdown, the other team gets a chance to match. Now, in the old rules format, a touchdown ends the game. So it makes sense to take the ball first. You score a touchdown, you win. But in this new rules system, it would make more sense, in my opinion, to kick the ball off. Now, a lot of people are saying, well, if they score and then the Chiefs match, then they get the ball to score. And if they score, it's over. And I just think, why is a team worried about step 2 before they accomplish step 1? Like, to me, we have to take care of step 1 before we even get a step 2. And what do the 49ers not do? Not take care of step 1. So we didn't even have to worry about step 2. The other counter argument I can see is their defense was tired, and so giving them a chance to rest actually played into their favor, which that's the only legitimate counter argument I can see. But because the 49ers were held to a field goal on their first drive, the Chiefs knew exactly what they had to do. And once they got into the red zone, they kind of knew they were playing with house money. They score a touchdown, they win, they kick the field goal, they tie, and we go to a second overtime. So I think the Chiefs benefited a little bit from that decision by Fred Warner taking the ball first in overtime, but it is what it is. So here are my 2 points as we look towards the future. It was widely believed that Andy Reid was going to retire at the end of the season, but since they won the Super Bowl, it's confirmed that he plans to stick to the team and chase the three-peat. Selfishly, I was hoping he would retire and I would get to see if Patrick Mahomes was really the same guy without Andy Reid at the helm, who I believe has played a big role in his development and his progression as this Hall of Fame quarterback. But now we have to wait an extra year to see if Andy Reid made Patrick Mahomes or if Patrick Mahomes made Andy Reid. My final comment is this status of GOAT. Greatest of all time. And a lot of people are already throwing out Patrick Mahomes as the GOAT. And I am definitely not ready to do that. I think it is widely accepted and undisputed that Tom Brady is the greatest of all time when it comes to the quarterback position and just player in the National Football League. And I think Mahomes has quite a bit more to do before he usurps that title. So here's my hottest take of the video, and if you're not ready for it, just turn it off and go watch something else. What makes Tom Brady and Peyton Manning, in my eyes, the undisputed greatest quarterbacks of all time was their ability to do it under 2 systems, 2 teams, 2 coaches, 2 schemes. Brady did it over and over with the Patriots, then he goes to Tampa Bay and does it again, and we saw Peyton Manning do it with the Colts and the Broncos. If Patrick Mahomes is able to win another Super Bowl with a totally different franchise, I'll be ready to have a GOAT conversation. But if his only Super Bowls come under the guidance of Andy Reid with the company of Travis Kelce and mostly Tyreek Hill, I think we have to take a second and say, who is really the greatest of all time? Patrick Mahomes or the system? I'm falling back into system QB talk. I gotta chill. Ultimately, I'm sorry for calling Patrick Mahomes a system QB, and last night's game-winning drive proved to me that he does have ability beyond a system. But selfishly, I hope I get to watch him play for the Cleveland Browns someday. Now make sure you hit subscribe if you want more hot takes that I eventually have to apologize for a month later. Thanks for watching.